G'day everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to do a bit of a how-to on how we make common juniper. This is what we do, it's how we roll. One day it might pay the bills, but for now, based on some stuff and some questions, I'm going to show you how we do it. We're not horticulturalists, we're not nursery owners. This works for us. We get about a 90 to 95% cutting survival rate on average. Some do better than others and sometimes they're just turd. But we've been doing this now for some time. So let's hook in and I'll show you what's going on. So this is the goal. We're trying to make cuttings that are approximately 7 to 10 centimeters high and look okay. Now this is an old tray. This was cut last year. Christmas time, January, and some of these haven't done very well, but it's been summertime and we expect that. As you can see, there are some missing. That's fine, they died, and all you do is if they die you take them out and you throw them away because they're never going to come back. Not going to talk too much about them, but this is sort of your goal. 7 to 10 centimeters, trays full. What do you need? Right, here we go. The first thing is we only use Searles seed raising mix to make our cuttings. That's what we use, that's what we found works. We did try some other stuff, didn't have success. So that's what we use. We buy it locally, costs about $20 a bag, give or take, depending. If you shop around, you'll find it for cheaper. You don't need, but this is how we do it. We use 40 cell haiku trays. We stick them inside some old fodder trays, which you can get on eBay or buy, swap and sell, and then we fill them up with Searles potting mix and we squish them in, and I'll do a tray in a minute and you can see how I do it. We make sure there's dirt around the bottom all the way around, and that's because when these do try and punch the roots out, they try and get into the soil here and it helps the trees grow, which is ultimately the goal. We use Yates Clonex Red. Again, I'll show you how I use it. We've got some finger protectors, and because these trees are spiky, you need these, or you've got really tough fingers. I did the first 20,000 without them, and it took weeks for my fingers to get better. Temu, I think we got them from. They're about $1. A pair of choppers, and the official custom-made wire. Hang on, I'll wait for this car to go past. So that was Mrs. Bop in her Nissan Patrol. She likes to drive it like she stole it. So this is a piece of fencing wire. It's custom bent. We use both ends depending on who's using it, and you have to make your own. I'm not telling you how to make that. And you need some source trees. Now, we have 13. 10 of these are our original 13 trees we bought in 2018. And we're going to be cutting, today, we're going to be cutting this tree at this height. We're going to start topping these and try and square them up. Now we have them arranged. This is how we've done it. Female, female, male, sprawled, male, tall, female. So female, female, male, female, female, male, female, female, female. Oh, that's a male, sorry. Female, female, and then these two at the end. So our goal for this particular season is we're going to start at that end and we're going to start topping these trees all the way through, and I reckon I'll get to about here and I'll run out of holes. How many do I get off each tree? Well, off this tree here I could probably cut 500 and you'd barely know I'd done it. So source trees are important. If you don't have source trees, well, it becomes a bit challenging. So anyway, that's all the bits and pieces. A little bit about setup. I'm a tall person. I like to work above my hips. It helps my back. I use the wheelbarrow to fill the tray simply because it keeps the dirt contained, and that's where they're going to go. In terms of where we put them after they're cut, I'm also talking about it. This spot here, if I stand in the middle, we get really good winter sun, comes up through here, up through here. They get protected a little bit in the daytime, and then in the afternoon we get dappled light. come through. I will fit all of those trays across here and across here, and once they're on the ground they don't move for several months. So one bag of seed raising mix does about 240 holes, which makes it easy to work out costs. Put that in the bin in a minute. And one of the absolute keys to this process is to make sure that the holes have dirt in them squished. Now, the trays are 5 wide and 8 long, and I'll smooth this off a bit more. So I plant, the way I work is I plant 8 males down the outside, 8 males down the outside, and then females through the middle. But the beauty about it being 8 wide is, like, with 2 hands I can get the squish on. And this squish, we have found, is probably one of the most important parts, because if the dirt's not squished for whatever reason, they don't grow very well. And again, not a biologist or a plant specialist or a guru. And this is 30 or, I couldn't even tell you how many cuttings we've made. We've probably made 20,000+, which means it's probably more like 30. So anyway, 1 bag, 3 trays. Then I will put them on the ground. I'll give them a watering can just to wet it down, and then I'll leave them sit for an hour or so, just so that we know that they're ready. And then if we come up here, we get set up, got all our stuff. Grab your official piece of fencing wire, and I'll generally make the hole all the way through to the bottom. And every now and then you'll find one that might be a bit soft. Don't be afraid to put any more dirt in it. So, all right, well, I'll get this one set up, and then we'll go get some trees, and we'll make some trees. And this is already going to be a long video, so I'm going to try and make it a bit quicker. Righto, so had a brief introduction, sort of lost where I'm up to. Have tray, made holes, made dirt. Finished off the other trays, ready to go. These trees later on are going to go into these big pots because I'm not putting them in the ground, and I have labelled them males and females and so on and so on. I need to empty my wheelbarrow. So the next thing is choosing a victim. So I'm going to start at tree 13 and work our way down, and in all seriousness, all I'm going to do is just start cutting the branches from the outside inwards from about the top of this fence. Now, what if the tree dies? Well, I've got a few to replace it with. I don't think it will, but you know. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to try and do this where people can see, which is going to be quite challenging, but we'll have a go. So with this branch, I'm going to start at the bottom, and I'm just going to cut them off. It's about that long, and then using my well-clad fingers, I'm going to strip about 1 inch off the bottom. Okay, then it just gets dunked in the goop, and if I can see a hole, there we go. And then we squish. That squish is critical. We'll go again. About 1.5 inches, inch and a half, somewhere there. Okay. And these little grippy things do enough bark damage to encourage root growth. Dunk. In the hole. Squish. Remember, the squish is critical. Dunk. In the hole. Squish. Some things to not do, or try not to do. Don't put anything with leaves on it below the surface of the dirt. You see this one here with its little limb? I'm going to carefully pull that off. I'm going to strip that. I'm just going to put this one in the dirt alongside, because sometimes they grow. And then I come back to the piece I tore off. And what you see here is I've damaged the tree here. I'm going to plant it anyway, but the chances of it growing are reduced because I've damaged it here. So we'll stick that in the side as well. And that's the other part you can use the dirt down the side of the tray for, is you can actually have a potential nursery. So this one here, multi-stem, going to plant that just like that. I know some people don't do multi-stems. Oop, broke off anyway. Get another tree just for free. Okay, and this is the process. Cut, strip, plant. There's another one we found. No, it's no good. Here's another one. Now this one here, I will break in half. Squish. Remember, of all of it, the squish is the most important by far, if you can get it in the hole. Okay, so I'm going to process the rest of this branch and then we'll have a look at where we're at and we'll go from there. Righto, so here's that same branch, all stripped down. We've got, what's that, 4 times 8, 32, so we've got about 40 odd trees. Now, this is the tip of the branch here that I planted. That's more of a speculator, and a lot of these are smaller than I'd normally do. So I'm actually rethinking whether I take the branches off or whether I just strip the branches off the tree and cut them out later. Learning is learning. So next up, I'll finish cutting some females. I need another, I don't know, 10 or 11. I'll cut the 16 males and I'll put the tray down, and then we'll summarise and wrap up. And if you're still watching, well, this is exciting. So here we go. There are 32 females and 8 males in both trays. So there's 64 females and 16 males. Survival rate, we budget 50%, so one of those trays will die. And I've made a lot of these trees smaller than I normally would, just from cutting that branch, and I'm going to change that back to just cutting them off the tree. 50% survival here, 80% in ground. So of these 80, we expect 32 to survive. We are doing much, much better than that, but it's better to under promise and over deliver. There are some little trees shoved in the side. If they grow, they grow. If they don't, they don't. So that's what's in front of me still to fill up. This is my goal for today. So today I've got one there, one on the back of the ute, and 6 here, which is 8. So that's 640 trees is today's goal. So I'm going to crank the tunes up and hook in, and then we'll come back and I'll see where we got to. I am trying to empty the wheelbarrow, so I'm also going to repot those 30 odd. And yeah, but the sun's about to come out. I'm going to strip my gear off and start making trees. So here we are about 3 hours later. So 640 trees, cut, potted, watered. We don't cut just the nice bits, we cut everything. So down to about 3 or 4 mil on stem length, and then in it goes. There are some dodgy trees in here, don't get me wrong. I'm short on males for the season because it's so late. It's the last week in May, and I'm not expecting this to be a fantastic cut survival rate. I also put all the offcuts in a tray just for fun, a little experiment. Carve it in some dirt, see what grows. There'll be a mix of males and females. And we never cut the stumps as a general rule, but I had a spare tray and I got some dirt, so I've planted some stumps and we'll see what happens. So what did the tree look like? The tree, all of the females came from the one tree, which was this one here. And yes, it's looking a bit sad, but it will now not get touched again. And then all the males, so 16 times 8, whatever that is, came from this male. It's starting to get a bit skinny as well for viable candidates. I've still got that male and that big one over there. So there you go. And that's pretty much it. So that's how we cut common juniper here in little old New South Wales. Some safety warnings if you're still here. Don't drink the cutting liquid. Be careful with the sharp things. And don't poke yourself in the eye with the wire. That's about it. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on these. They'll sit there now for 3 months. I've got some more trays to fill. I'll make another 640 tomorrow, and then the next day and the next day and the next day. We use 2 bottles of goop, and I've still got all my fingers, and I didn't drink all the cutting mix. So there you go. Anyway, if you've got any questions, send them through. Happy to answer them. Happy to have a go. If you see something you don't like, or you're a horticulturalist and you're currently walking around the kitchen kicking shit because of how I do stuff, okay, let me know, and I'll see if I can do it better. So, see you next time. And eventually, given time and water and sunshine, you should end up with trees that look like this. Now these are getting repotted for next season or for sale, but normally we would just put them straight in the ground, and they're about 4 to 6 inches tall. Thanks for watching. See you next time.